let's get this chip repair done. So, little combo brake, small little cavity with some legs that kind of come out. Right here, right here, right here. There's probably more legs in this one. Once you start flexing on them, you start seeing more legs. Should be easy though. A lot of glass missing too, so. A lot of people like to use the drill to drill into the chip. But for chips like this, where there's already a lot of glass missing, I like to just clean it up. Clean up all the fresh glass that's there. Toolbox is a mess right now. But if it's not a mess, then you're obviously not working enough. So what I like to do on these is flex the leg. Hopefully you can see that. And you'll see the resin flow inside of the legs. Flexing just basically means opening up that leg to help the resin get inside and make sure, like on longer legs like this, that the resin gets all the way through and filled in. Sometimes it takes patience, but eventually you'll get them filled. Also, you gotta be careful not to make them spread. So I try not to use too much pressure on here. Because when you're using scribe and you're pressing on the glass here on this weak point, you can make them spread and get bigger. So just to be careful. This is actually a old customer. Done a lot of repairs for this lady and her dad. This is her dad's truck. Yeah, we've done, I don't know, 4 or 5 repairs now over the few years. Something you always want is repeat customers. So you always do a good job. Every car that you get, every chip repair you do, try to do the best job possible. And they'll eventually call you back. That's the goal. Have repeat customers. New customers are great too, but they're harder to get. Repeat customers are the easy ones to get. They just need the problem and they know who to call. I don't know if you can see that, but that was a leg moving out. Not necessarily from too much pressure. Usually it's because it's just has a path to go. These cracks are already starting to move, so they have a path where they just expand. So if you put a little bit of pressure on them, that weak point that's there already kind of opens up. And that's usually what you want to, because sometimes there can be little ghost cracks, is what I like to call them, or like little tiny fractures in the ends of these legs that like to hide from you. So if you think it's filled in completely but you don't put any pressure on there, later on that little ghost crack or that little opening can open up and make the chip expand. A lot of people are like, why did this expand when I know I filled it in right? And that's usually the cause. So it's important to flex on these legs. Flex on the chip, the full chip all around. Make sure that there's no weak points inside of here when you fill it in. Again, not too much pressure, but enough to where you can see any weak points. All right, so it looks like it's filled. Maybe. Give that a few minutes. Make sure it gets all the resin inside of every little crevice, and then we'll cure it over. Sometimes when I have extra time like this, I'll try to get some things done, such as going to clean the other side of the windshield. Some paint coming off. I think I've done another chip repair on this truck too. I'm not sure where. I've fallen off this thing so many times. Also, I'm going to use this one. Go touch up another chip repair I did for this lady on her personal car, because I noticed I was kind of weathering away. So I want to make it look better. So I'm just going to cap it off with some chip repair resin. Right there, if you can see that. It's filled in, but the surface is kind of weathering away because I did this a few years ago. So let's throw some chip repair resin on top. Get some clarity out of it. Smooth it off again. No charge. Already charged him for the repair. I'm not going to charge him again for something so little. Some people will, but I'd rather keep a customer happy than make $5, $10, whatever people want to charge. What am I doing? Grabbing this now. Alright. So, fairly sure that this is filled in. Take that off. Clean the surface with the excess. Now I'm going to cure it over. Not going to put any pit fill yet because I want to cure over that chip repair resin, that Magnabond resin inside of there, especially on the pit. harden it up, and then I will put the pit fill resin on top and cure it over. Need new curing tabs. They're all old, beat up and dirty. It just looks like a mess in there. While that's curing, I'll pull my actually clean that little mark that the mirror leaves. Super visible. Whoa. Alright. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Sometimes I like to pull this off and let that cure without the curing tab there. I don't know if it makes a difference, but in theory, my thought is that the UV light can get to the resin quicker without this in the way. Could be wrong, but I don't know. Let's grab a new razor blade. It's completely cured. I need to charge these lights. I'm dying. This one had a lot of glass missing on the surface too, so I want to make sure it's all cured over, hardened up, like really good. Because if it's not hardened up really good and I try to shave it off to smooth off the surface, it might chip away at the pit there. So I don't want that to happen. So I want to make sure it's all cured over. We don't have any sun out today either, so it's not really helping, but the UV light should do its job, even though it's dead. But to make this video short, let's get it down. Just gonna be careful. Some pit polish. Cleaned up good. Again, can't make these disappear. Can't make them vanish. We're not magicians. But you can definitely make them look a lot less noticeable. Always depends on the damage. If the damage is super bad, you're gonna have more of a scar. If it's not as bad, you're gonna have less of a scar. The biggest thing is filling it in properly. Certain angles are gonna be more noticeable than others. I can not really see it too much right here, but when I go on this side, I can see the scar and the yeah, the scar of where the crack is. But not bad. Let's check it out from the inside, just so you can kind of see what they look like. So again, a scar, they're always going to be a little bit more noticeable from the inside than the outside. But their biggest thing is they don't want to replace the windshield. And if they don't want to replace the windshield, then windshield repair is what's going to work and save you a lot of money. And let's clean off the windshield, write up a receipt, and we'll be done. I always like to extra clean on the repair area, because a lot of times you'll have resin that's there around it. So you gotta make sure you clean all that. Alright guys, hopefully I give you a better idea of the process. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.